Robbie.
Steven. Brooks.
I never know. Anyway, I've said this every single time. I never know if you're going to continue.
It's like you took two audio clips together. I said your last name later on, and you just connect them.
It's got to be really annoying to the people listening to the show now because every single episode it starts the same way. We got a nice show for you. We start with how you doing, and we talk a whole lot about Rob's vacation.
If you've seen Viva Rock Vegas, it's very similar.
Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas.
Viva Rock Vegas.
You okay, Elvis?
We are talking about, Rob, do you remember?
Paws of Fury.
Yeah.
Primal Season 2.
That's it.
And then Rise
of the what?
Of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie.
You nailed it. We discussed some of the other things that are coming up on other shows, but just keep giving us topics and questions and stories. So far, we're on a good run.
Yeah.
A couple weeks under our belt.
That's right. We've been rolling the dice, and so far, hitting jackpots.
Yahtzee! Do they play that in...
I don't think so. I was trying to find Candyland, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Chutes and Ladders?
No. Are you wearing that Cuphead shirt because I went to Vegas?
That is funny that you bring that up because I didn't even realize that. You got me this shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming together.
Look at that.
Oh, also, as far as coming together, by the time they hear this, they will have already heard the Bob's Burgers review. We referenced the fact that we got together for Burger Day. We had some burgers.
Oh, yeah.
I made my own homemade buns. And if you are a patron at any level, you can see the behind-the-scenes photos of that.
See Steven's buns.
They're bun-tastic.
Oh, they were really good.
They were delicious.
I think, yeah.
I was walking by. I was pinching them like all day. I was pinching those buns. They were so pinchable.
Oh, man. I'm going to make a burger after this probably, and it's not going to be as great. Very cheap buns.
That makes me feel good that my buns prevent you from ever having a good burger.
I don't think I could ever have buns like yours.
My buns bring all the boys to the yard.
Oh my God! Can I just tell a quick thing before we stop about buns?
Okay, yes, please.
When we got to Vegas, or we were leaving Vegas, they did one of those. I had to go to the thing, and they said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but we're getting some activity around your buttocks area." I said, "Oh, okay." And so they had to like pat me down, grab things, and all that stuff. Same thing happened with the crotch area too. Last when I went to LA, there's something in that region that is threatening. And it was so hard to not tell them, oh, maybe it's a fart bomb.
What did you lose up there?
Listen, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No, apparently you brought it home with you because it was there and back.
That's true. Yeah.
You've had something that would set off a metal detector.
Yeah.
Between your butt cheeks. Oh, between your butt cheeks.
I like that you saying that, just like, oh yes,
that's actually relevant to one of the topics.
Yeah.
All right.
I took a gamble and I lost.
So you did another gamble thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what's between your butt cheeks? Craps. I couldn't even say it with a straight face. It's a game. All right. Let me say welcome to episode 283 of the Rubber and the Animation Podcast. We're calling this one Henny Honey, the new drink sweeping the nation.
Yeah.
Summer of 2022. The Henny Honey.
I'm going to serve me up a glass.
between
my...
I'm Don Bluth.
I'm Harry Partridge.
Hi, I'm Tom Moore, teenage superhero.
My name's Adam Phillips.
This is Robert Valley.
And I'm in no way doing a forced plug. No, sorry. I won't say that.
Go for that.
And you're listening to...
Why are we doing this again and you are not in my apartment? What did I do to you that we have another episode? You came over to my apartment one time to record one episode, and it's like, oh, this is going to be it. This is what we're doing now. Then we recorded another one. All right, you didn't come over. That's fine. Again, here we are.
Well,
Why?
Here's the situation. I could wear underwear here.
Your parents went away on a
Yeah, yeah.
something vacation. I forget. I don't know the
My parents went away on a week's vacation.
on a week's vacation.
I
that's
think
it.
so.
All right. Okay, sorry.
From what I remember.
This kicks off the drinking game.
I do enjoy being in person there, going back and forth. Definitely a different vibe. You notice everyone's saying vibe now? I kind of hate it.
It's the vibe shift, right? That's the thing that everyone's talking
Oh,
about.
especially when they go, I'm getting this kind of vibe from that.
Well, people have always said that, but I think the new thing is like that's a whole vibe.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
if someone
yeah.
is
like a
is
mood.
dressed in a certain way, walking, it's in a mood. Yeah, exactly. It's just slightly adjusting things that we've always said. It's got to be different. Waymond wrote something the other day, and he wrote IRT yada yada yada, and it took me a few seconds to go IRT. What's IRT? In regards to? Waymond, help me out here. Is this what kids are doing now?
In
Is this
real
what the kids are doing?
translation-
Instead of RE for regarding,
Yeah.
IRT is in regards to?
Is there like a memo?
I didn't look it up. but I
That's
assume.
being massed sent to everyone. Yeah, I do that a lot where I have to kind of like shaking my head. I didn't. So I kept putting like SMH, and I'm just like, I always assume it was just going sm, like. Wait, you went there and you didn't tell me? You got nachos and didn't tell me about it? Sm. It seems like a very
The other thing is, I've
disappointing-
never heard in my life you make a sound like sm. You write down LOL if you're laugh out loud. Did you also type that out and just think people were going, "Whoa"?
No. But there are people who think that means lots of love, and there's so many posts about like deaths in the family or stuff like that, and moms would be like,
LOL.
LOL. I tell Denise lots of love.
It's like WTF? Why the face?
Why the face?
The WTF? If you what the? I mean, that actually sounds.
Yeah,
Well, anyway,
that was our
you're not here.
Gen Z chat.
Gen Z chat. Yeah, that's true. I really don't want that to be a recurring.
Actually, no, I think millennials.
But
started it. Yeah.
so you just got back from a trip.
I was on a vacay.
This is the how you doing part of the segment.
Yes.
Or part of the show, in case anyone was wondering if we were going to get right into it. No.
Yeah, we gotta catch
First,
up.
it is shaking our fist, get off our lawn, and then we give you the podcast version of sitting you down in front of a slideshow, and Rob's gonna and he's gonna
Take you on a visual
he's
tour.
gonna talk about his trip.
Went out to Vegas with the missus. Kind of a
Oh, see, now that makes you sound old too.
yeah. But we didn't take like any cruise or anything. We did cool stuff. Like we went to Vegas.
Oh, you didn't take a cruise from New York to Vegas?
Yeah, that's just
you
it's
know,
hard to get
the
that boat
connected
through the
body of
sand.
water between New York and Vegas. Sorry, go ahead. I'm interrupting you.
Fear and boating.
What?
Fear and boating in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's the fear and loathing. I understand.
Yeah. So I went out there. Everyone kept mentioning like, "Oh, I hope you win big." Oh, I hope you. I did. I gambled twice on a slot machine. Lost instantly. I said I had enough. There were a couple of things I wanted to do. The neon exhibit and the Omega Mart. There's like a new kind of like exhibit there where there's different art exhibits and stuff. And one of them is Omega Mart. And you're just in a weird grocery store. And like there's just bizarre products. And then you open up a fridge and you're in this other weird world. It's very like, do drugs and come here. I didn't do drugs though. I couldn't find any. So... but I didn't go at all. I did drugs and I went to a regular supermarket. I was like, whoa. And I'm just like,
Wheaties. That's a funny word.
they are great.
Grape
I'm holding
nuts.
up
Grape nuts. Grapes don't have nuts. Why do I think that when you take drugs, you turn into like a Seinfeld stand-up bit?
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
So I didn't go to that. I didn't go. It was like $60-something for each person. I was just like,
I have to jump in real quick and give you a recommendation. The food that built America. If you like reenactments. This is the show for you. It is ridiculous.
They're all making money hand over fist, and none are even half as big as Post.
If you have a point, make it.
Give me one good reason why we shouldn't be making stacks of money off of this. I'll do everything. I'll oversee everything. You won't have to lift a finger.
You're not capable.
I'm gonna bury you.
This is cereal. It's like the history of cereal.
I appreciate the passion, though.
There's a whole thing about Hershey, and it's so funny because, like, again, when I lived in Europe, and all Europeans it taste Hershey's and like it's bitter, it tastes like puke, it doesn't why. And then you see that the way it was created, Hershey, who really doesn't really know much about chocolate, he just tasted it at the World Fair, and he like dips his finger and he tastes it. Like, don't change a thing. This is it.
The texture is good, but there's a little hint of sourness that we could eliminate.
No. Don't change anything. Did you write down what you did? So you can do it again.
Good enough. He just tasted it and he was like, let's build a town. Let's build a factory.
Yeah, really.
And then he built a town to work at the factory because he wanted the factory to be next to cows so he could get fresh milk. It's just, anyway, it's insanity. The show is ridiculous. It had me laughing so hard.
What is the show?
Every time they introduced it's called The Food That Built America. It was like on the History Channel or the Food Network or one of those things. It's on Hulu. You can check it out. It was really, really funny. But when you said ketchup and catsup, one of them is the history of Heinz. And they just go through this thing about how people at the time were eating this rancid meat, and they would use this product from China that was a fish sauce type of deal that they would pour on top of the meat, and it was called catsup. And they would pour it on top of the meat to mask the rankness of this.
That's pretty bad when you need
meat.
A fishy taste to kind of take away from
it. Yes, it was like I need it to smell bad on purpose. That's fish, right? So you just
can we just wrap this up in a dirty diaper, please? And
in his kitchen, he's coming up with all these different concoctions, and he was like, tomatoes. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it because of the seriousness that they are talking about this food, and I had no idea how many of these brands, like, Kraft and Hellmann's and
bring out the Hellmann's and bring out the best.
Bring out your dead.
Bring out the Hellmann's and bring out your dead.
That was a Monty Python jingle mashup is what happened.
In the Hellmann's mayo in the back, they have a cake, and they're like suggesting, you could use mayo to make cake. And I always find that so disgusting.
Do you remember the Elliot Cowan interview, episode 102?
Oh wow, we got a super fan over here.
It was part of our rebrand time when we got to the triple digits. It was our first interview when we got to the triple digits after our actually was it in our I think it was like right before our 2-year anniversary or something. You were drinking out of a giant mayonnaise jar from Costco.
Of course I was.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't. In front of him?
Yes, on the call, you were drinking out of a and not just like a regular mayonnaise jar. It was one of the gigantic Costco mayonnaise jars. I remember because you weren't saying much, and I was trying to get you involved in the thing, and it was the only way I could get you involved in it was to point it out. And I mean, he was a good sport.
I'm sure
You don't remember that?
No,
you don't remember that?
I mean, that sounds like me. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily would do that now, but
anyway, sorry.
Plenty of that in Vegas.
It's just back to Las Vegas.
On the note of food, we went to some fine dining at the Taco Bell nightclub. Where
in the Demolition Man dystopian future where Taco Bell won the.
Right after we went to Tipsy Robot, where there's this robot bar and they serve you drinks, and it takes a very long time. But normally it takes a long time for bartenders.
Oh, is that where you got the COVID killer?
Oh yeah, well I just saw that on the list, so maybe I should have.
You didn't get it.
because there is a possibility. Maybe that was some foreshadowing.
There's a possibility that you have COVID now.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas,
Apparently not.
But what do you think the first thing? Oh, by the way, I'm making a video of the whole trip. Very detailed, almost documentary-like video, because I got so much footage and so many jokes that I was away from my computer. It drove me crazy. So I just kept constantly thinking of how I could stitch everything together into a fun vacation video. So stay tuned for that. But what do you think is the first thing I did when we went out to Vegas? The first sight I saw.
The not the Simpsons house.
It was the Simpsons house. The not.
Yeah,
Simpsons
but
house.
the Simpsons house that what is it? The person regretted buying the house and was like, this isn't a functional as a house, and then they added a whole section onto it.
It was a contest. Everything. It was a whole contest. They construct everything to look like the Simpsons house, from the living room to Bart's room, every detail. Someone won it. And then when they went there, they were like, I can't live here. This is not, some of the drawers they were trying to open, and you just see a brick wall in it. And it was just impossible to live in. I would have managed. And outside, Matt Groening did his Homer.
Groening.
I knew I was going to say it wrong. Did his badly drawn Homer on the cement. Mm-hmm. And that still remains there. Now, the exterior shot looks still similar. It's just not bright colors or anything.
It's similar. I think it. I can't remember. I think it had an extra window in there somewhere or something like that. It wasn't exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh God.
You had sent me on your flight. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, we have friends out there, and as soon as I met up with them, I was like, "Can you take me to the Simpsons house?" So we drove there. They drove to a block away and just made me walk there, do a walk of shame in the heat. And I just took a quick photo and ran out, because it is a residential house, and apparently the person doesn't mind people going there. They just don't want you staring in the windows, of course.
I mean, of course, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just gonna say. So I found the image that you sent me of the COVID killer drink, and it had. I like how when it's how it's listing off the ingredients, and I was always like the first ingredient is the most amount of stuff that's in it. Right, it's the highest volume. The first ingredient is ice, and then after that it's vodka. Blue curacao or curacao, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's curacao. And then okay, so it's Svedka vodka, and then after that it's Svedka cucumber and lime. I don't know if that's a mix or whatever, but it sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it should be hot water and honey and vodka.
Yeah, hot water, Henny, and a squeeze of lemon. The other thing,
Hennessy.
That you. Oh, Hennessy? That's good. Yeah. Oh, Henny Honey. It's just Hennessy and honey.
Name of the episode?
Henny Honey? That's not bad. We haven't really been doing that. We haven't been recording them as we go.
Yeah.
We come to the end of it, because there was the episode that was a couple episodes back. Was it 281?
Yeah.
And we wanted to call it Bud Buddies, but we forgot about it by the time that we got to the end of it, and so is the Pinocchio No, which I mean, Bud Buddies is just it's so much better, and it would have been a great name for the Bud Bundy show.
The original Child's Play was going to be called Blood Buddies.
That's not bad. Did they change it because of My Buddy?
I think so. That might have been an issue.
Blood Buddy, Blood Buddy, Blood Buddy, Blood Buddy. Blood buddies and me.
He bleeds.
That's good. Kid sister.
Oh yeah, I had it, my buddy, and as soon as Child's Play came out, I was just, because I always wanted a brother. I was like, this is like my brother. Then Child's Play came out. I was like, send.
And then as soon as it came out, you just
get him out of here,
just like your brother.
Yep.
You think Rob doesn't have a brother? That's not true.
Yeah, I saw that movie, the good boy, whatever.
The Good Son?
The Good Son?
The Good Boy.
Good Boy.
The Good Boy. Yeah. Good Boy, starring Macaulay Culkin
And he plays a dog.
and Elijah Stone. Yeah, anyway, I was going to say, you sent me a picture. You texted me a picture from the in-flight movies on the way there.
Yeah. Animation Outlaw. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah. Outlaws. There's two of them, right? So Animation Outlaws, yeah.
Kind of randomly there, 'cause everything else was just like, like the Batman.
I mean, it's right next to Apollo 11 on the list. I think it's just alphabetical.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. It was an in-flight. What did you fly over there?
JetBlue.
Like, what was the airline? JetBlue. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So JetBlue in-air movie. If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to episode 271, our interview with Spike Decker and Kat Elishan. Kat directed it. Spike is the surviving subject of the topic, which is Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted, I guess, whatever, the multitudes of festivals that they had. Anyway, did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. It was exhausting because we just had 3 days, but I feel like I was there for like 3 months, just waking up early, going to bed late, a lot of drinking, and running around. So I feel like I kind of balanced it because I ate a lot, but I also walked a lot, so hopefully I didn't gain too much more pounds.
Well, now it's time for Trailer Talk. Trailer Talk, obviously, is what it sounds like. It is when we want to talk about some new stuff that's coming up, but really the only thing we have to go off of is the trailers that are released. We have 2 movie trailers and a TV show trailer. We have 3 trailers that we're talking about, and we're excited for half. Go figure that one out.
I think you'll read it in our tone.
So that's it. We are going to talk about the trailers. We can't talk about the movies themselves because the movies are not out, so this isn't a review. This isn't even a prediction, really. It is just going off of the trailer, and sometimes we get into conversations about the way that things are promoted. So, Rob, do you want to introduce the first of our...
Sure.
Do you remember which ones?
Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to be... All right. It's Paws of Fury?
There's a subtitle to that. There's a...
Oh. Okay, I'm going to click on the link. I was trying to just...
Oh, my goodness.
It's Legend of Hank.
Yes, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. Now, I would like to preface this by... You know what? I'm not even going to do that. Why don't you tell us what the official premise is?
A down-on-his-luck dog, Hank, is trained to be a samurai by a cat mentor, Jimbo, all while various cats, Aika,
Nope.
Chew?
Nope. All while a villainous cat.
Oh, the various cats, villainous.
Yeah, various cats want to do it. Yeah,
I'm sure there's a various amount of villainous cats.
I'm sure
destroy their city, their village. So.
Yes, very good. Now, does this sound familiar to anyone? Does this ring any bells? I was watching TV. All of a sudden, this trailer came on, and I just see this dog and this cat and the samurai and everything. I was like, dog, cat, samurai. What? Something in my brain. And I started freaking out once I made the connection and realized this is the Blazing Saddles animated remake that they were trying to do years ago.
Yeah.
We talked about it on way long ago, episode 67 of the Rubber Rainy Animation Podcast, Supercalifragilisticnecrotizingfasciitis, at 21 minutes and 16 seconds in. Obviously, it got a big backlash. People couldn't understand how this could possibly happen. We couldn't understand how this could possibly happen. And then now it comes out. Who introduced the trailer, Rob?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. I remember years ago, people were talking about making a Blazing Saddles remake. And they were like, well, it's got to be Samuel L. Jackson. And so now it just turns its way into an animated...
Is this what you wanted?
Yes.
I would have never... I would have never put that together. I would have saw that trailer and said, oh, they're making another Kung Fu Panda movie. Or maybe like I would have assumed it was a spinoff.
I mean, that is exactly, it is Rock Dog plus Kung Fu Panda equals Paws of Fury. That's basically what it is. It is. It's what it looks like for sure. It doesn't look terrible as far as the timing. I like the comedic timing. There's a couple bits in there that I thought it was pretty funny when the giant cat is walking and there's a guy playing the piano and there's a door right next to him and it stays on him for a second and then he comes smashing through the wall where he's playing piano and not through the door. Like I thought that was funny. That's there's some classic physical comedy stuff that's in there, but I mean, why? How? I think is the question. It doesn't look like it's going to be awful. I just don't.
Awful.
I just don't understand how they could think that it was a good idea to use Blazing Saddles as Blazing Saddles isn't known for its like amazing story structure. It's not iconic in that. There's a lot of different movies. Why is that the basis of this? It could be any movie could be the basis of this kind of thing. Any of those.
There was a producer.
Please.
Walking in the hallway. Some guy intern maybe had a script and said, "Sir, please, I have a movie." Producer kind of goes through it and goes, "We have Kung Fu Panda already. This is already. Unless you could tell me something that's gonna shock me, I do not want to look at this." They're in the elevator together. They just happen to be giving an elevator pitch. He goes, "This is Blazing Saddles for a family."
One of the production companies assigned to this is Brooks Films.
Oh, I didn't know you had a company.
I mean, not related to Mel Brooks, but I don't know that they're going to get a return on investment on this IP. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, unless it's free somehow, I don't understand how a movie like this exists. But anyway, let's talk about the trailer, shall we? There's the introduction to the movie, which I thought was. Yeah, it was funny that Samuel L. Jackson is doing. He looks very happy. He looks like he's talking to a group of kids.
I play a samurai cat in the new animated theatrical film Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank. Meow.
Which is probably it's that direction. It's like, listen, you're talking to kids. I mean, if I were like at a library and he were there and he were like introducing some, like, what a nice man. Read me a book.
Ezekiel 25:17. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
It's like, just thinking his filmography. And then it gets into this kind of,
I thought
narration
when I saw the
because of the harsh shadows and stuff, the way it was rendered and everything. Is that why?
Just the
it's
variety of colors.
It's interesting. I think Spider-Verse, unfortunately, is going to be the shorthand for anything that doesn't look like, traditional CG. I mean, good for Spider-Verse, but when you become that comparative note, you just compared Paws of Fury to Spider-Verse. I'm just saying that I don't.
They're gonna put that quote in the trailer too.
So it starts with this narration. I was like, oh my God, this is boring.
I lived in a bad part of town full of bad dogs. Everybody always picked on me. I thought if I could be a samurai, it would change everything.
Did you recognize the voice?
Oh, yeah. Michael Cera.
You strip away the name of the person. You strip away what they look like and how they act. It's just the voice. And sometimes you come up to a brick wall of inspiration as far as the voice goes. Like, he does not have a very textured voice, apparently. And everybody says this about, like, Brad Pitt being the surfer dude, Sinbad. He just has a very boring voice. And there's a special feature on, I think it's the Incredibles DVD, where they're talking about they were originally looking at maybe casting like George Clooney, and then when they ended up casting Craig T. Nelson, all the animators are very happy about that because Craig T. Nelson had a much more interesting voice than George Clooney did. George Clooney has a good voice, but he doesn't have an interesting voice. Samuel L. Jackson's voice is playing this. I like the design of the cat that he's playing. Looks a little bit more like a hamster, but it's still fun. It's kind of a,
I didn't know it was a cat. Yeah.
All right, I'm hired to be another samurai.
I feel like he's at the stage where he's just him in every movie now. He gets that big fat check, and he's just like, all right.
To be a big fat cat.
Yep. This could have been a cool, maybe underdog movie, like the character underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Reviving
it kind of looks like him.
Yeah, I was thinking the design of Michael Cera's dog guy looked very much like it.
Yeah, the main character. I'm assuming his name is Hank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, I feel like we got to talk about the farts.
Yeah, so I know that there was one fart in particular. There was an actual stop the trailer fart joke.
What the motherfucker cocker spaniel's going on here?
There was another one where the other giant cat, the sumo cat that comes in and lands on him, and the dog gets wedged up the crack.
That was a shirt in the 90s. They would get characters and just put them between like giant butt
cheeks. Yeah. So glad that we're talking about this movie. I thought it was really funny because I almost lost my mind when I saw the trailer on TV. I couldn't believe that it existed. And seeing the Paramount logo next to this was a bit of a shock. It's Paramount Pictures via Nickelodeon Movies. So yeah.
Kung Fu Panda, is that Paramount as well in Nickelodeon?
No, it was DreamWorks.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say at some point they'll probably do a crossover. Overall, I think the trailer is pretty forgettable. It's one of those movies I'd never seen, but I know I've seen my nephews have it on the TV.
Right. The animation studio that's providing most of the animation originally was going to be ARC, which I think is related to Jamfilled up in Canada, but it actually shifted over to Cinesite. Just scrolling down, looking at Cinesite, and obviously they do a lot of the visual effects work. Does restoration work as well. It's multifaceted, but its first visual effects credit that I see on here is 1996 Space Jam. And then, yada, 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 2007.
Underdog, 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 underdog. He's what the right thing the most are fulfilled with pretty moments still from those that need to wipe this one more blind as we go. Underdog.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, names. Voice actors in this. Some that you could tell, especially when they had a oh my, when you hear that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, I mean, I hope George Takei's in it because otherwise it's just
that's when the theater class.
Just horning in on his action. But yeah, no, he's in it. Ricky Gervais still kicking it. still somehow allowed in children's movies, I guess. It's really funny because it's like, well, if we're gonna get someone to be in a Blazing Saddles kids animated thing, let's get the guy who tells offensive jokes but talks like a cartoon character.
Wait, did
well, that's Ricky Gervais.
Did we get back from Dave Chappelle's people? No? Okay. Get Ricky.
Get Ricky.
Get Ricky. That's a good movie title.
Get Carter. Yeah. But with Ricky Gervais. Anyway, so apparently also Mel Brooks is in the movie. Don't know who, but George Takei, Asif Manvi, Jimon Hansu, Michelle Yeoh, and then obviously Samuel L. Jackson. It is directed by Rob Minkoff, Mark Kotzier, and Chris Bailey.
I know none of them.
Do you know Rob Minkoff?
No.
Not a big deal. Just co-directed Lion King.
Never heard of it.
Directed Stuart Little.
Oh, okay.
Remember the amazing Mr. Peabody and Sherman that we both love so much?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he directed that. He directed that as well. And apparently, and I just learned this today, his wife, Crystal is a cast member on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh.
So for all of you reality show junkies out there, hey, we got some animation representation in there.
That's kind of pretty cool. I think I'd watch for that because she's gonna go to the animation studio.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if she does, and I will not find out. You can do that. You do that research for me. I do all the research. You do that research. I do all this other research. You do that one. Mel Brooks apparently plays Shogun, an empathetic British shorthair who is the ruler of Kakamucho. Is Kakamucho is that supposed to be like big poop? Is that?
That's what I.
Or
That's what I used to put on my dating profile.
Kakamucho.
Latino lovers.
So Jimon Hansu plays Sumo, a giant ginger cat. So apparently, what you get to see in animated form, Michael Cera get wedged between Jimon Hansu's butt cheeks.
Oh, finally, my deviant artist coming to life.
Right. It's another one of those that was done during the pandemic. It's coming out. The trailer doesn't look terrible, but it is one of the more confusing releases that I can think about.
Yeah. I do like the origin stories of taking a rated R concept movie and then pitching it to be a rated G family film. That's why I'm going to pitch my film that is loosely based on the Human Centipede.
Bear McCreary apparently is doing the music. You know, I don't know. He did the music for Battlestar Galactica, for The Walking Dead.
Okay, that's where I know him from.
Very weird. I can't get over that. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say about it. I can't offer anything else.
Yeah.
It's just the strangest. This is the strangest turn of events for me. If it's Paramount Pictures, it's probably going to be thrown up on Paramount Plus at some point. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be in the theater, but
yeah, I'm curious to see if they use any kind of recycle any kind of jokes from Blazing Saddles that is not, completely offensive, but maybe punching a horse in the face.
Beans. They did. That's the fart joke.
Oh.
All right, that's okay. So our next trailer is something that we both loved and is now coming back for season 2. I was very confused about the whole season, half season release, whatever it is. Genny Tartakovsky's Primal season 2. That trailer came out, which showed very little. But what'd you think? What'd you think about the trailer?
It's interesting to see because it's definitely the world is expanding, and you could kind of see almost like evolution happening. You could see just an army of people.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, by the way, with the showing that there's like an army of people behind a wall with arrows? That's one of the more, I mean, it feels like we're jumping ahead like tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Even in this world, I mean, humans and dinosaurs didn't live together, but even if you could stretch that truth a little bit, it still feels like we're jumping forward like 60,000 years.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I feel like I do like just him and the dinosaur and some kind of a beast that they're chasing around. But I guess the whole point of that is just to start off with that and grow into to now, where it's just different. Oh my God, do you hear my stomach growling, by the way?
That's your stomach?
Some pistachios in here. Yeah. Speaking of Primal,
I am not even kidding. That I don't know if it's going to pick up on your microphone there because I'm hearing your audio through your computer, which picks up like a lot of room sound. That sounded like thunder.
So as I was saying,
anyway,
I could have sworn there was a season 2 already. I thought this would have been season 3, but I guess you said, it was season 1 was cut in half.
Yeah, so I actually only saw the first 5 episodes. I only saw up to Rage of the Ape Men. That was the last
that was a good one.
thing that I saw. Yeah, that was so it was Yeah, apparently they were released like, it was a 5. I always say this. It was like TMNT season 1. It's 5 episodes, 5 days, baby. And October 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's when it was released back in 2019. And then they came back with more episodes, but this time they were shown on a weekly basis. So they showed on October 4th, 2020, and then October 11th, October 18th, October 25th, and then November 1st. So they did it weekly instead of daily.
Yeah.
The April 1st one, it was originally shown, the Plague of Madness apparently was originally shown on April 1st as a stunt. That was the second episode of the second half of season 1 that they ended up showing in October. So that's where my confusion came in. So I was like, wait, is there one episode? Is there another season? And then so I never actually ended up getting to see it, but I want to check it out.
I do wonder, is there going to be some more dialogue now that you see more people? And
I mean, there must be, right? There's people, there's it looks like we're entering into civilization. It looks like we're entering into so this is where my confusion comes in, is I only saw those first 5 episodes. So that's where I might need your help. If you saw, did you see the back half of the first season? Did you go?
I think I saw all of it.
The final episode is Slave of the Scorpion. Spear and Fang encounter a bound and bald-headed woman with a scorpion tattoo on the back of her head.
Okay, I do remember that, yeah. But I don't remember.
Okay, all right. So you've already seen. Okay, so you've already seen people though.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah.
World. Okay. Right. So that's something that I didn't get to. So that's why, to me, it feels like we're just jumping way far ahead. So I got to get caught up. I got to watch these next five episodes, get kind of caught up on this, because it feels like you're jumping way far ahead. And I got some time. July 22nd, they're releasing 2 episodes on July 22nd. And then going to July 28th is going to be the 3rd episode. It's interesting that they're playing with this release method.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul just came back for its second half of season 6, and I remember didn't Breaking Bad do that as well? I know Better Call Saul did it, the previous one, but where you break up one half of the season to the next half of the season. And Stranger Things just did it, where they had dropped, I don't remember, it was 6 or 7 episodes or something like that, or something like that. And then they waited another couple weeks, and then they dropped the last 2 episodes, which were extra long. It's really like dropping another 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I like this experimentation of the way that you drop episodes. I think so far, and this is going to be the HBO method. So far, I like the HBO method the most, where you give me 3 episodes usually on premiere. I mean, not always. Some of the bigger ones they do, and then some of the other ones they drop 2 episodes at once. But I like the 3 episodes to start, and then 2 episodes every week. I like that because it's kind of this combination of binging and weekly appointment viewing. 1 episode, I feel like, especially for a half an hour show, is too small sometimes, depending on what type of show you have. And over the course of the week, especially depending on what is out there at the time, you can watch them as a batch, either the first time it drops or a little bit after it drops. But it means that you're not going to get stuck behind too far.
Yeah, what they're doing now, it's good, where it's not so much time where you just kind of forget about it. And then like it returns, you just
forget about it.
Hey, forget about it. I'm not continuing The Sopranos.
The shareholders.
Where enough time passes where you're just like, I mean, that happens constantly with me. If a show like if the season ends and then like a year later comes back, I'm just like, I remember I watched that, but I just kind of moved on from it. As far as Stranger, were you gonna ask if I
was just saying, how did you like that? Yeah, the way they dropped that. Yeah,
I know it was good. It was interesting that they came back with just 2 episodes after that.
Right.
But
it really is more, I think, about the story that they're telling, like where they left off on this like big cliffhanger, but it was right after you got a bunch of answers, right? So it was like you were leading up to this stuff. It was setting up a whole bunch of things. You got a bunch of answers, and it set up this big showdown, right? That would happen in the next couple episodes, which were big episodes. Even if they released 3 or 4, still it sets up a big showdown, right? All the pieces are in place. Now let's go. Yeah. And I think that dropping all those episodes at once meant that, yeah, if you wanted to devour them right away and you wanted to be first, then yeah, you could do that. And it gave blogs time to write their TV recaps and talk about things. But there wasn't any major spoilers that would stop you from watching it, right? So it would be like, even if they spoiled something for that first bit, they didn't spoil the end because you have time to get caught up. You have time to watch that. And then by releasing only like a couple episodes after that, well, now you're invested. Now you're in it. You've given the world at large to determine whether or not this is something that you want to catch up on. Yes, I want to. Okay, all right, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's doing this. Catch up on it. And then, boom, drop those 2 movies, basically. That's basically what they are. Just drop those, and you have a weekend. Well, that's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to watch that. I think that was very smart. I think that was a really smart decision to do, as opposed to just dropping the episodes all at once to make everyone talk about it. But then I think there are people that are kind of scared away from it, like, well, I want the experience of it, and I was just spoiled. So, like, it's fine. I know what happens. I don't really need to go through it all if I'm going to be spoiled anyway. And that's kind of what the drip feed of episodes is like. I like the HBO portion of it. It usually takes me 3 episodes to kind of get into a show, and it's to me, it's best to watch those all at once. I want to see where you're going. If by the end of the 3rd episode I'm not feeling it, then okay, I can make my decision. But you give me 3 episodes to really get into it. That's what happened with Our Flag Means Death. First episode was funny. 2nd episode was like, I don't know if I could do a whole season of this. And then the 3rd episode introduced a whole new dynamic that I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then going on to the next episodes, I loved it from there. I didn't think I was going to want to watch it, especially after that first episode. I liked the first episode. It was after the 2nd episode. Like, I don't... the comedy's good, but it's not good enough to where I need to watch this every day. Yeah. It was just kind of silly. And then after the 3rd one, anyway. So this one's going to drop 2 episodes at once. And then I don't know if they're just going to do 1 episode after that on a weekly basis. But the first season, they dropped all 5 episodes of the first half of the season. I don't know if they were expecting to do a second half or what. My assumption is they did a miniseries, a 5-episode miniseries, and it was super popular. And then they got a 5-episode extension. That's what I think happened. Extensions are very good for studios and production companies because oftentimes it is written in people's contracts that they get a raise between seasons. So anytime you see an extension, that's like, we like it.
Yeah.
We don't know that we want to invest that much in it, so let's try extending it. So anyway, they extend it. And then they did that weekly. And now they did a season 2, and they're releasing the first 2 episodes at once. It's interesting, them playing around.
I do kind of miss waiting for something. And I know that on Sunday is 90 Day Fiancé, new episode. Very similar.
Sunday is usually this like prestige TV, Game of Thrones or something like that. And you're like, 90 Day Fiancé.
Mm-hmm. The dumpster.
I think it just speaks to where we are right now in TV and in we've played around with the binge watching. We played around with that binging. We've we did the appointment viewing. I think there are some people who, a lot of streaming is now starting to do some of the live TV, some of the channels that people like scrolling. They kind of get that. There are different methods that different companies and different streaming services are trying out in order to see like, well, maybe there's not one ubiquitous way that people absorb information or people absorb content. Let's try to get the one that is most attuned to this particular audience.
Yeah.
And I think it worked for the Stranger Things audience. That one did. And whatever they're doing on HBO, I think HBO's been doing an awesome job with their release strategy. I really think the 2 episodes a week thing for a lot of their shows just works really, really well.
Yeah.
And Barry having it be 1 episode a week works really, really well. I think 2 episodes a week would be too much because Barry is very heavy. You want to sit on it for a bit,
Do you feel like, let's say you had a series get picked up and you put it out there and they go, okay, well, we're just thinking about putting all of it up immediately. I kind of feel like as a creator, it'll be a little frustrating because you constantly have to stay in people's minds. And if you have a whole series already out there, everyone's seen it, everyone's talking about it, and then they move on, as opposed to like stretching.
Yeah, it depends on how fast. Because it's at that point, I think that Stranger Things was like a cultural phenomenon because it was comfort food, it was nostalgia, it had a little bit of scares, it had a little bit of monster stuff in there. It was just it was memeable, Halloween costume catnip, right? If you can be part of the cultural conversation like that in that way, then I think dropping the episodes all at once makes sense. But it's hard, I think, for most shows if you drop everything at once. Reality shows, I think, are a really good example of something that could work really well. The Love is Blind, I didn't see season 1. I saw season 2, and it was fascinating to watch. But, man, if they released that weekly, I wouldn't have stuck through it. That's totally something you do when you look outside on a Saturday. And it was really literally just up to that. I looked outside on a Saturday and I was like, it is rainy and gross. We are staying in tonight and just looking through some stuff.
Yeah.
That's some schlock. And it had a guy on it with really big, he just looked like a deer in the headlights. And the clip that they showed was him saying the wrong name to the person behind. And he just looked terrified. And I thought it was really funny. And so we started watching it, and it was very enjoyable. But only for that. It's kind of it's boxed mac and cheese,
Yeah.
There's a particular maybe 4 times a year I crave boxed mac and cheese, but the rest of the time I can't do it. I can't eat it. Yeah. It's like Coke, I can have a Coca-Cola, a nice ice cold Coke, like a couple times a year is when I just need this thing.
Yeah.
And then once I have it, it's done. And
then you regret it.
It's just one can of Coke for some reason. There's just that junk food, that nostalgia, that's something that you want, that you crave. And I don't know that you can necessarily plan for that. I mean, maybe you could, for releasing something, but a lot of times I feel like, you drop something on Netflix, and we talked about this on our show, that you just kind of click past it. And if I click past it a couple times, my brain rewrites its wires and goes, not worth it.
Yeah.
So I do want to get back to Primal.
Yeah.
But I just looked it up. September of 2020. Episode 272 of the Rubber Animation Podcast, called Back It Up. We talked about all stuff on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So obviously there was there's Primal, there was Close Enough, is what we talked about. But 24 minutes and 45 seconds in is when I give my Primal season 1 review. And then we, kind of got into spoilers, but we talked about it for I don't know, it was like 40 minutes or something like that. I saw all of it at once. I sat down, I binged it all at once. And that was in 2020. It was already out for a whole year by that point.
Yeah.
Before I saw it. That's something where I feel like, you drop it, people binge watch it, and that Primal stayed on my mind. It was something that I was intrigued by. It was something I was interested in. And but it wasn't something that was pushed toward me. It wasn't something that I was clicking past. I didn't have an opportunity to watch it. Then when I actually saw it on HBO Max and I had, an opportunity to click, I clicked on it and I watched it. I binged them all. It was very easy to digest. That got back into it. And I feel like I don't remember, but I might have done it because I was seeing things about more Primal episodes, maybe. Because a month after this, they started releasing the other episodes, right?
Yeah.
That would have been in October of 2020. So there's something to the continuation. If you do drop something, you really need that season 2. You really need an extension could work. Season 1 half, season 2 half. Better Call Saul is another great example. Watching those, half of that season. And it leaves off on this cliffhanger, kind of like, I really want to see it. You don't have to wait that long. You only have to wait like a couple months, and then now they're releasing the episodes weekly again, and it's kind of back into it. It gives you some time to catch up. It gives you some time to realize that, people are talking about this. Barry was the same way. I feel like even that season 1 of Barry, I think I watched maybe the first or second episode, and I was like, it's interesting, but I wasn't continuing on past that. I think Game of Thrones was still going on, right? So I wasn't watching past it to continue on with Barry. And then I just decided, it's getting some good reviews or something. I'll catch up. And then I watched at that point, maybe it was up to then it was, I was missing 3 episodes or something. And I loved it. Binging, if you can call it that, those 3 episodes or 4 episodes to get caught up to where Barry was at the time meant that then I was now excited again to watch it weekly. So that was even something where I watched the premiere and I watched the second episode and then I just stopped. And then, a month later, I watched the 3 episodes that they had already released, and now I have this momentum, and then I watched it weekly as it came out. And it just it gave an opportunity to build. I don't really know what point I'm trying to make. It's just there's a lot of different ways that you can absorb content. I just thought it was interesting seeing the way that they released it.
There's definitely shows that just become part of your daily routine. You're like, okay, after work, gonna put this on. We're gonna eat dinner in front of the TV.
Can you think of something that is not so we put on, I don't know, let's say just some comfort stuff, some background. Yeah. Going to sleep, eating food. You said that Leanne puts on Bob's Burgers, right? So there's a sitcom. There's a linear TV sitcom. I might put on like a Parks and Rec or something like that. A lot of people put on The Office. There's Friends. There's these sitcoms that have 20-something episodes in a season, and they run for like 10 seasons, right? You get like 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And then you have this known quantity that you could just at any time just go, I'm gonna flick this on. I think I mentioned I was watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's got seven seasons. It's got a good each episode is 40 minutes. It's a good amount of content. It's a good amount of stuff in there. Do we get that anymore? Like with streaming? I'm trying to think of linear TV shows that have an opportunity to last that long. There's like I guess It's Always Sunny's on.
Yeah.
Curb is on.
Definitely.
There's Bob's Burgers, which I already said. Yeah. Simpsons is 30-something seasons, but I'm trying to think about stuff that has been released since the whole post-streaming domination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's say a show. When did Stranger Things come out? That'd be 2016, right?
Yeah.
So 2016. 2016. We're in 2022. What show came out? What show has 5 seasons now and could be considered like a, Parks and Rec, Office, Friends,
oh man,
Bob's Burgers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess I could. I guess you could say Big Bang Theory.
Well, that came out before that.
Okay.
But sure, yeah, no, I guess you're right. We've talked about how Big Bang Theory was syndicated while it was already on.
Yeah, as far as
anything else?
No, I feel like everything else is kind of like Did have maybe what's that 80s kind of show with the family or Martin family? Maybe that.
The Goldbergs.
Yeah,
I'm looking at these, and a lot of these there's like This Is Us, Westworld, Atlanta, Billions.
Oh, I started watching Atlanta.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Letterkenny. It feels like a lot of these are they're not comfort watch, right? A lot of these are like heavier, more experimental, more artistic.
Yeah.
However you want to say it. There's The Good Place. That might be, but that only ran for 4 seasons.
Can you include the Full House reboot?
Yeah, no, I don't want to include that because that was I don't know that would lead itself to a comfort view kind of thing because it is just I don't know, it's resting on nostalgia, but it hasn't reached that level, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something. There's a Macgyver reboot that came out that time. I'm looking at all the OA, Preacher, Love, Medici. They're all heavy. Kim's Convenience. That's probably, but that was also canceled. But that's a sitcom. That was probably maybe the closest to get to that kind of feeling, that kind of comfort viewing sitcom type of deal.
Yeah.
That came out during the era of streaming. I think it's just hard now because you're not forced to watch things on that weekly basis. You're not forced to do that, and maybe networks are a little bit more free to just cancel things willy-nilly. Remember when Fox was canceling things like crazy? Remember when Fox was like, it was hard to follow any show, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, can you believe Fox? They killed Arrested Development, they killed Firefly, they killed Family Guy, they killed Futurama, they killed all these." And you're just listing off all these shows. Man, that is Netflix every day. That is and linear TV also same thing. I mean, they're just canceling shows left and right.
God Bless the Hearts. Was that remember that?
Who knows? Anyway, on that note, I am now back in a situation that I was in September of 2020, which is September 2020. There was 5 episodes of Primal, and I binged them a month before the premiere of the second half of season 1. Now here I am in July of 2022, and I have to binge watch the 5 episodes that are already out there before the premiere in 2 weeks of the next season. I'm in exactly the same spot I was last time, completely not planning for it. So I'll do that. I'll binge the next 5, and then I think this would be an interesting one. See if we can keep up with it. I don't know, I feel like that's the next phase of TV conversation is, do you keep up with it or do you wait? Do you wait until they pile up and then watch a whole bunch of them, or do you watch them on a weekly basis? Does that change your view of it,
There's some shows I like to pile up, but I think with Primal I'd be more consistent with it.
Primal seems like the kind of show that you would want to binge. So it'd be interesting to see what happens to the enjoyment of it if it is released on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Anyway, we didn't talk at all about the trailer.
No.
But the trailer, that's not the important part. The trailer looks great. If you like Primal, you'll like it.
Yeah.
You don't need a trailer. This is the show. To me, that's how good the show is. You don't need a trailer. And there are some shows I don't want to watch the trailer. Better Call Saul, the second half of season 6. I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't want to watch anything. Barry's new season. I didn't watch a trailer. I don't want to see anything. I just want to see the show.
Yeah.
And that's what Primal's gotten to me. So
I will say the trailer for the first season was a little more in your face.
A little more energetic, yeah. I mean, they had to sell it, they had to really get it out there. This one, I was seeing. I was like, oh, wait,
There's a little more mystery.
those
to
Vikings?
this. Yeah.
Are those Vikings? Is that what's they have body armor and stuff? And I just thought, oh, that's strange. So I got to go back and I got to watch the other ones.
Third season,
good stuff,
he's going to
though.
be in the living room or in like, I don't know, a mall.
Uh-huh.
That character was
pretty...
in a Dexter's Laboratory episode.
I didn't know that. I didn't really watch Dexter's Lab.
Speaking of destroying...
Moving on. Yes, there you go. Speaking of...
Dee Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles... Rise
of, you mean?
It's always rising. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was expecting...
the movie.
The movie. Okay.
Yeah. That's all it is. Yes. My God, it took you so long to come up with that. Okay. No, I have not seen the show. I watched the pilot, which I talked about. When I went to Annecy, I saw a presentation on it. And I saw a couple episodes past that. And looks really good.
Yeah.
Not really my thing. And I think there's a weird zone to be in where there's a lot you can put into something. There's the world building, the action, that sort of thing. You can really make it you can heighten the production value, and then you can have something a little simpler and increase the charm, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a charm to the Nickelodeon CG series that even though they could do a lot of stuff, and they did really try to do a lot of stuff, they really did a lot of flat staging. They did a lot of like silly stuff, and sure they had action, but it felt more like they were going for the charm, like purposefully not doing things that they knew that they could do. For the charm aspect of it. Yeah. I know I said that like a bunch of times. This one, it's like when I was watching it, it just felt like the value, the production value, and the animation and the action was beyond the needs of the tone of the show. From what they were writing, it was like, the animators or the visual artists were making a show that didn't match what the writers were doing. And I'm sure that, obviously that's not true, because you have a showrunner, you have directors, you have, that are doing that vision on purpose. But it felt, to me, I was watching it, I didn't really know. I kept getting pulled in different directions in my brain. That's what it felt like. It just didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't really work for me all that much for the show. The trailer, since this is a movie, well, this is definitely what it should look like. But then every time they stop and they talk or they act, I feel that same pull. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would like them to kind of. I haven't watched the series, but to kind of slow down. I feel like there's just so much going on, where it's just a little. It looks. I
think it's fine to. It's fine to be fast and to go crazy. I always bring up the comparison of is it The Incredible Kimmy Schmidt? It was shorthand Kimmy Schmidt, that show on Netflix.
Yeah,
rapid fire comedy. It was just joke after joke after joke. It was just sometimes that can be too much, but if you pull it together stylistically, it can all work together. This I don't know. Yeah, it just felt. It feels like something's not clicking for me, and I can't really figure out what exactly. Do you remember Turtles Forever? I did a whole Rubber Onion viewing party for Turtles Forever. Back in the day, but that it had a lot going on. It had big ideas for the story, and it was able to unify its style in a way that I thought worked really well. I enjoyed it a lot. I like some of this stuff. I think the Krang stuff is interesting, and I think that is where the visuals, the animation, the action, it all kind of gets pulled together in this crazy world, because it's like The Thing. It's kind of body horror monster type deal. The joke about the tracker under the skin.
I mean, you put trackers on all of us? No, of course I did.
I don't know. It's not a strong enough joke to carry the moment. The action is so good and so over the top, and then when they break to do a joke, the joke can't hold the weight of that silence because the action that they just had was so good. If you're gonna break, that joke needs to be rock solid.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm like 40, so well, we all have to recognize.
Hey, listen.
It's like Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson knows to change the way he talks to an audience, knowing that he's talking to kids when he's looking at the screen introducing that animated. And I feel like when you're watching this, you got to change your brain a little, you got to adjust, but something about it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it feels like there's a component missing from this. And even when I first heard about this series, it looks great. I like the designs. It's cartoony and this has like enough where it's just like it's visually appealing to me that I can watch it. But I don't know whether it's just because we're so used to other versions of the Turtles that it's just nothing has me gravitating towards it enough to like want to watch this as much.
I mean, maybe. I don't really know how it worked. I don't think it ran very long, the show. I don't know if it changed. So remember the old animated, not the old, but the one that I like so much, the 2003 animated series. It ended up changing to something where they were like in the internet or something, and Splinter was like blowed up into a million pieces, and they had to go like collect his bits from around the internet. It's really stupid.
1,000 Splinters.
That is a really good name for like a mini series. I like it, it's fun. It's fine. It looks really, really good. The animation's very, very good. I'm looking on here and it says Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had 2 seasons. First aired in summer of 2018, and then in October of 2019 is when it started airing its second season. It last aired on TV August 7th, 2020. So two seasons, then they go right on to a movie. Didn't we just talk about this with South Park? Isn't that what they did?
Oh yeah,
they did 2 seasons and then they did their movie. And I'm looking on here and I'm seeing these seasons. It says 36 segments and 20 episodes. I guess they're split up. But looking at the viewers, they're it looks like they might be averaging somewhere around just a hair under 1 million viewers per episode, 800,000. That's for season 1. Then season 2, maybe 150,000, maybe less. And I would be very interested to see where they market this and who is going to get this, because the Teenage Mutant Turtles, they're a hot brand, man. It doesn't matter how many different versions you do. People are, kids are going to watch it, but you got to give them something that will. Got to give them something that'll stick. And
I wonder,
they did not spare on the animation of this. It looks really good.
Very kind of complex looking. I couldn't work on this.
Yeah.
They would fire me immediately. I think
I like the idea that they would hire you.
Yeah.
But then they would discover
who hired this
that
guy?
You couldn't do it.
Get out of here.
I'm pretty sure that it's produced in Australia, by the way. But I do like the idea of you going, get out of here.
Yeah, it's a guy from New York, and he thought I had potential because I was from New York. So there was that moment. I'm an animator.
Sure.
You're hired. Next day, you're fired. I think I know it's a trailer, but I like Ninja Turtles surfing in the sewer and the city. They're eating some pizza. You know, get to know them a little more, and then trouble emerges. You know, I feel like this just started off like boom, pow, 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 in your face. Oh, we're fighting. You know, it's just like, oh, whoa. Who are these guys?
I mean, that's the other thing that I liked about the trailer. I will say that they, something about, you know, Krang, they got rid of their magic powers. Because you remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they had magical powers in this rise of the TMNT. They had like magic behind them.
Oh, I don't like that.
And I think that was one of my criticisms of it. If you take them too far over into the mystical, the magic, then it does kind of take away a little bit of that relatability. Then it's just a thing that you're watching.
Imagine if everyone had Eleven's powers in Stranger Things. That it's just like...
Right. Yeah, totally. They didn't really linger on it too much. It was just kind of like whenever they did anything, they would get this extra glow around them. They had these special abilities and things. And I don't know. You know what it felt like? It felt like the unnecessary addition of like nanotechnology in the 2000s. Like everything had tech. Every animated character, every action, every new toy or whatever was some bit of pseudo cyborg machinery. Well, anything else to talk about with it?
No, I feel like I do like this a lot. I do like that they're going this direction with the Turtles, but I feel like it's not completely for me.
Sure.
Maybe the Seth Rogen one when that comes out.
Seth Rogen one.
Yeah, isn't there like a movie that he's kind of producing?
A TMNT one?
Yeah.
Did I not know this?
Did I just break some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle news? It's impossible, folks, to send Steven anything with Turtles. I've seen it already. 25 people sent it to me this morning.
Oh, yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot from Seth Rogen, Nickelodeon, set for 2023.
Ha ha!
A CG animated reboot. Okay. I see there's a paper. I'm looking at this now. There's like a paper that he types of mutation, deletion, duplication. That's funny. They're actually looking at the different types of mutation. That's kind of funny. You know, this little sheet that they have here, I'm kind of into this. I kind of like this.
Do you think he's gonna voice any of them?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Splinter?
The Hogasha. Anyway, we talked back in 2018 on episode 222. We talked about the rise of the TMNT designs. If you want to go back and you want to listen to that. Yeah. You know, I think it'll do all right if they're able to drop it on, something like HBO Max, Paramount, something like that. If they're able to drop it there, it'll do okay. But I'm not thrilled about it. Let's say that.
Yeah. You wouldn't go running to the theater to see it.
Well, so that's the weird thing. The animation does look good. I would be fine watching it in the theater, but I am interested in this new thing. It just sucks because the 2D animation's so good. Every time a project comes out, especially like a kids show, a kids series, let me tell you this. You wonder why people get all up in arms about reboots, nostalgia pulls, the IP-ization of TV, that they are using something that already existed and they're going, oh, okay, well, this is this generation's version of it, that kind of thing. You know why people get bothered by it? It's not because you're ruining my childhood or whatever. Some people do that. That's really annoying. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. I don't like it. Another thing that I have talked about is that I reject the idea that kids' shows are just crap. I always say that kids don't have bad taste, they have no taste. You can give them something that's amazing and they'll like it. You can give them something that's crap and they'll like it, as long as it has some core elements of appeal. The reason why I think people, and including me, and I think we talk about this on the show, when you take something like Blazing Saddles and then you go, well, we're going to mix it up a little bit and we're going to spit it out into this animated realm. I haven't seen it. So I'm not saying it's bad. But the reason why people get all up in arms when someone puts out a bad product that is on existing IP or something that just feels a little half-baked, it feels like, well, why? Why did you use that? It's like having a fine piece of clothing, and then you go into your closet, and then you just cut it up. I'm going to turn this shirt into shorts or something like that. You took a fine shirt, and you turned it into bad shorts. Why?
That's
what was the point of doing that?
Every clothing line in Kanye West puts out.
Who's the person who did, it was all jeans, everything. She did the jeans bra, the waistband that she cut off of jeans, and she turned it into a bra, and then turned jeans, like tied the legs together, reversed the pockets, and that became like a shoulder bag. Just people are so stupid.
Oh, that's very early 2000s.
Is it it's the I was Ryan Safdie's views on Uncut Jams. It was that. I forget her name.
Yeah. Who was
you know what I'm talking
dating
about.
Kanye?
Yes, exactly. There's always going to be a faction of people who are just like, hands off my childhood kind of thing. I don't really care. It's not ruining the Turtles. It's not ruining them. I just think you might not have gotten the money to make it look this good if it were new and unique. That's a problem of the industry. That's less of a problem that, the person who's making it or the team that's making it has to solve. That's a bigger issue. It really does come down to sometimes when something is greenlit as a reboot, if it feels unnecessary, then it doesn't make me angry. It bums me out.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Not saying it's easy, but if the point of using an IP is this thing's classic, this thing's iconic, well, then figure out what makes it iconic and then use that stuff and tell your new story on that. And I feel like sometimes when you have something like the Transformers or you have the new TMNT or something, they kind of miss the point of what made them iconic and what made them fun. It'd be like making a Gem and the Holograms reboot with no music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like just Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I saw on a plane and it was terrible.
Well, see, Ghostbusters Afterlife is one of those things where I'm like, all right, well, you tried something different. Taking it and then doing the same story is also weird because that also feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that you can cut it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do something. I'm not saying Ghostbusters Afterlife was good. It was not good. And there was a scene at the end that made me puke in my mouth. It's another one of those things that make you go, it's fine. But I do think as far as the outings go, this has some really good stuff. Every time the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out, people are trying their best and they're doing their best work. I think the 2012 was probably the most successful of the last 10 years. I mean, I guess it came out 10 years ago, but successful enough adaptation. 2003 I think was a wonderful adaptation. There's the live action stuff. And you go back to the 90s, you're just selling out everything. So that's just get while the getting's good kind of thing. You just kind of let that stuff go. But yeah, everything from the 2000s on, every time they come out with something, and I'm not saying that Rise is bad. Rise, it just wasn't anything that I could really watch. And I could watch the 2012 one.
Yeah. And now that we have like the whole multiverse thing, if something fails, there's always, that was just that universe.
Well, see, they did the multiverse already in Turtles Forever.
That's true. They kind of started.
So they already did that. Yeah, they already did that. Yeah, which I thought was really good. Yeah, I mean, you know what I might do? I might actually watch this just because maybe I might like it in a movie form more than I would in TV.
Yeah.
Because if my main problem is that it looks so good and the action's so good and everything, visually it's very good. But it just feels like the story's not really there. The jokes don't really hit me. They're very kid-like jokes, but some kid jokes are funny. These just don't really hit me as much. There's a lot of mugging, there's a lot of like, silly face.
They did a lot of kind of anime poses and stuff, like I
get it.
Sweat on the side of their heads or like a giant.
2012 did that. 2012 did that as well, and I thought that stuff was fun. It basically turns these CG characters into walking emojis. It was It was fun. I thought they did all right. And they captured a spirit. So there's some stuff that are there in this one. It might work on a movie.
Yeah.
There's a long way to talk about nothing.
It's a good thing. You know what? I would like to see.
Should we say anything about the? Should we show anything about the movie, like, at all? Like, the premise. Read the premise.
What was the premise?
Set 2 years after the series finale. So, funny enough, it actually stopped in 2020. And it's being released in 2022. It's actually set 2 years afterwards. So that's kind of fun. The Ninja Turtles are faced with their greatest challenge yet when a mysterious stranger arrives from the future with a dire warning. I like how it says a mysterious stranger. And then in the trailer, it's like, I'm Casey Jones from the future. Why did it just say...
I like how you said Leo that like Tracy Morgan.
That was not intentional. Leo is forced to rise and lead... Rise. Of Leo. No. Is forced to rise and lead his brothers, Raph, Donnie, and Mikey, in a fight to save the world from terrifying alien species, the Krang. It seems as though they have officially named them Leo, Raph, Mikey, and Donnie, which is just the stupidification of children.
I mean, it...
not being able to say Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello.
New Kids on the Block.
Oh, sure. Donnie? Yeah.
Or who's the Robbie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike?
Johnny, Jordan, Joey, Donnie, Danny.
Oh, very Boston.
Yeah. Donnie, Danny.
New Kids on the Block.
They're from Dorchester.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think this is good. Good topics, good discussion, good rapid fire. You'll get caught up in it. You can't yell?
Yeah, I get it. I know someone's napping. Rapid fire.
I asked on Facebook for topics that you wanted to talk about on the podcast. We talked about a couple of them. There's a couple that we're saving for a future episode, and then the rest of them we're going to talk about here on the Rapid Fire segment, where I am going to give us only 60 seconds on the clock to talk about each of these stories. And if we can't get it in that time, we're just going to move past it so that you can hear our wonderful takes.
Oh, they're going to be wonderful. And rapid. And fire.
Oh, as in that's fire?
Yeah. It's hot. Remember that? That's hot. That's very early 2000s.
Well, we can drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's fire.
That's hot.
Soon it'll just be like, hose it down.
Warm.
Room temperature.
All right, so let's just get going. Rapid fire. James T. Nethery Regions shared the Daria spin-off Jodie, now an animated film, set main cast including Pamela Adlon, William Jackson Harper, Carl Penn, and I don't know why I turned to SNL. What do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, Daria herself was a spin-off character from Beavis and Butthead, and I felt like I didn't know much about this.
Gotta go faster.
I didn't know much about this character, and then I did kind of like a research. I didn't know she was involved in so many episodes, so it is an interesting concept. It was going to be live action, now it's going to be animated, so it's nice to see another I wonder if it's the same style as Daria.
We do know at least one person who is worked on the movie, and we'll probably end up talking about it when we talk about the Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, because I finally saw it, and Rapid Fire. James T. Nethery Regions also shared the Mad God trailer. Yes. I just want to use this as an opportunity to say, Rob, have you seen it yet?
I have not seen Mad God yet.
And I haven't seen it. I tried to get you over to my apartment. Again, this seems to be a theme on the podcast now. So
it took 30 minutes to make 30 years to make it, and it'll be 30 years for me to see it.
I have Shudder. I'm very excited to watch it, but it is something that we have brought up on the podcast before, and we're probably going to watch it, and we're going to do some sort of review of it. We may throw it together, actually, with the Beavis and Butthead thing. I tend to want to smash together some reviews that don't sound like they have a thread, and I think I have a thread already, having not seen Mad God yet, but knowing a little bit about it. But
God.
We'll see. We'll see how we get into it. Sorry, did you say But God?
Yeah, try to string those two together.
Oh, sure, yeah. We already have a name for the episode. Rapid Fire. Chris Guido, he's that Guido. he shared with a certain TMNT Superman in mind. I believe he means super fan. I figured you might get a kick out of this if you haven't seen or discussed it yet. TMNT, The Last Ronin animation. Did you watch it?
I did. Very tragic. I
What'd you
was
think
not
about it?
expecting that.
So I have read the comic storyline, The Last Ronin. If you know the story, then this is a nice little companion piece. It kind of, it kind
Okay,
of feels...
so it's based on something. I thought it was just like a fan.
No, it's based on something. It's a pretty famous comic storyline. The animation's good. The texture of the turtle's a little strange, of the skin. The fingers were a little odd. But man, the look of it was very good, very wet and shiny, as scenes in sewers should be. So moving on to Rapid Fire Lamont. Wayne Monty, he says, Lightyear and the reasons why it bombed at the box office. We kind of already talked about it.
Yeah. I thought it looked fun, but I think people were just confused by it. And they're just like, I don't want to figure this out, this mystery. I want Tim Allen. Why is he Tim Allen?
At some point, I'll watch it, and maybe we'll kind of break down
his
why.
reaction to when he found out.
What did you do? Rapid fire. I'm going to throw these two together, James Teaton, Nethery Regions, and Tobias Krebs, both shared stories about the Animation Guild and the new contracts that are coming out with unions, new studios that are unionizing. There's a wave that is happening right now with unionizing across the country. Post-COVID, working from home, the recent popularity and the recent influx of jobs for animation. This new generation, I guess, of kids who are coming out of college and just looking at it and going, you know what? Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better thing. And organizing.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about, a lot to dig in. Not the topic for rapid fire, and also not something to be taken lightly. So we've been talking about it. We're really going to have to dig into it and do a little bit of research because I want to do kind of a timeline. Just want to let you know we're not ignoring it. We've got to get the right research, and we got to figure out the right way to put it all together and to discuss it.
Yeah.
Rapid fire. Andrew Kaiko. Andrew WK. It was, yes.
There we go.
It was Andrew W. Kaiko. Yep. He shared, Minions, The Rise of Gru, proves every moviegoer is over the pandemic as it sets record-breaking sales, while Lightyear sputters after takeoff. A TikTok challenge may have helped. Have you seen this? Did you read it?
No, but I know I've been following the trend of Gen Z wearing suits and going and bringing bananas to the theater.
It's boredom.
Oh yeah, it makes me think. Would you prefer a dignified movie that doesn't do well in the box office, or a meme that people are seeing it for the LOLs? Kind of like you are the new House or something. Oh no, not House. What's the? Oh hi, Mark.
The Room?
The Room, yeah. Sorry.
I love House, but instead of Hugh Laurie, it's played by Tommy Wiseau.
It's not lupus.
It's never lupus. I don't know why I turned into Snagglepuss. That's just how it works out. So we're done with rapid fire, but I do want to leave you with one bit of reading, which is kind of interesting. We might come back to this another time. But for a refresher on the copyright episode 103, where we talked about copyright and all things that animators need to know about it, it would be an interesting companion piece with this article that's on Polygon. It's how Minions beat Disney at the copyright game. And it's basically about the Minions are practically public domain, even though they're not. And the fact that Minions are everywhere, but it's built into their characters. They're kind of like nondescript outfits or whatever. And the idea that Mickey dressing up like Austin Powers would feel weird, but a Minion dressing up like Austin Powers wouldn't.
It's like Funko Pops.
They just become this thing that becomes instantly memeable. And the other thing they brought up was Rabbids, that game.
Yeah.
And how that's kind of built into their character. They're just crazy characters that you can kind of just throw anywhere. They have not gotten litigious about it. So whenever they see something, they're just like, yeah, that's fine. Just let it go. And then people turn it into memes, and it just dominated.
Oh, Facebook aunts love Minions.
Yeah. Very interesting article. It's part of a whole Minion Palooza series of articles that they have on Polygon. It's actually really kind of fascinating. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just leave you with that reading. Good rapid fire. Nice return to the rapid fire, I think. Yeah.
That's fun. Whenever we settle, I just feel like you're gonna go to something else.
I know it's crazy, and that'll do it for this episode of the Rubber and the Animation Podcast. Thanks for joining us for another one. Hopefully, you're enjoying the return of the podcast on a more regular basis. We're trying to get a regular schedule that's going out now, and then we are going to settle into something that is more maintainable, kind of over time. But there's a lot to catch up on. There's a lot to talk about. So watch for more of these posts and share your stories, share your questions, share your topics. Looking for topics. I think the next informative one makes sense to do a union one, but it's going to take a lot of time to put together. So if you have a question that you want to throw in, we'd love to do an audience question, stuff like that. But before go to any of that, I want to hand it over to my friend, fellow animator, and co-host, Mr. Rob Yofo. Tell them how they can follow you on the internets.
You can catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
There's music and everything going on here. You gotta.
Oh yeah. Instagram, Facebook, I guess. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Oh, Twit.
Send me a twit.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my tick.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, I'm posting some interesting things. I'm going to be posting my Vegas trip if you want to see. I swear it's not. It sounds like I'm going to post like a vacation video, but I'm spicing it up. Trust me, I'm making it spicy. Steven Brooks, how about you?
Well, you can follow me everywhere. I'm not even going to do the countdown thing because most of my stuff, you can't even follow me anymore. Like, I don't post these to Newgrounds. SoundCloud changed from just being able to upload there for free to having to pay a ton of money to upload the large amount of podcasts that we have. So that's not really up there anymore. And Tumblr basically doesn't exist anymore. Google Plus also non-existent. So everything that I had memorized, I got to come up with a new one. But I've been posting to. Got that twit. We've been posting to and I do actually have tick for the talk, but I haven't really been posting anything there. But I do post to Instagram. I've been posting to Facebook. That's where these things come in, and being active on Patreon, and specifically the Discord channel for Patreon. Patreon's going to get a little bit of a facelift. Think I'm going to kind of limit the amount of tiers that are on there, and the amount of money that's the barrier of entry to get in there, and be more active just overall. So there would be kind of like a passive way to absorb the podcast, I guess, which is out to the world. All these episodes get uploaded a week early to Patreon. So this episode that you're listening to right now will likely go up on Patreon in the next couple days. So probably maybe a Thursday, possibly tomorrow. Depends on how quickly I can put it together. And that'll be on there for a week before the wider world gets it. So if you're on Patreon, then you get kind of a behind the scenes stuff. You get chat on the Discord channel and stuff like that. Yeah. We're really focusing on the podcast now and making sure that we're getting a bunch of these shows up and to you. Please let us know if you're liking these episodes. If there's episode from the past that you really like the format of, or that you really enjoyed, that can really also help me direct my attention toward how to build these out, because we want to put our effort toward maximum efficiency, give you what you're looking for. If you like it, go to iTunes, rate it. If you have a comment to make about this show, please do it on the podcast post on rubber.com/podcast. That's it.
Yeah, do that.
That's
stuff.
The thing. Do that stuff. I'm at Rubber and everywhere. You can share #RubberOnionPodcast. That's the official hashtag for the podcast. Thanks for joining us for another one. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and we will talk to you next week.
I'm going to go put on my suit now and go see the Minions. You want to join me?
I do not.
All right.
I'll go see Lightyear.
What suit are you wearing for that?
Cowboy outfit.
Oh, nice.